Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Not Your Average Bucket List by Only in Your State. Today, we're heading to Indiana for a very creepy dive into some local lore and legends. I'm here with my co host, Sarah. Hi, Sarah.
Hey, Marissa.
So, the Only in Your State article we're focusing on today is titled The Legends of the Bottomless Hole in Indiana May Send Chills Down Your Spine. And it was written by one of our great writers, Tori. This type of story is, I feel like, in our wheelhouse for us because for
Yep.
anybody that doesn't know, we had an entire season dedicated to local lore and legends throughout the United States, and it was probably my favorite season.
I
I'll
could
go ahead
just
and say
do
that.
that forever. I mean,
Yeah,
I feel like it's a very niche focus, so I like that we're branching out from it. But to be honest with you, that's just chef's kiss.
yeah, I agree, and I love our creepy articles that we have on Only in Your State. It's always fun when October rolls around and we're kind of just like sending out
Yeah.
ones that we've already written or diving into new places. But I don't know, there's
Yeah.
something about legends in home states for people that just kind of bring, I don't know, communities together.
Well, I think, yeah, it brings communities together. There's this weird state pride aspect of, or local community pride of like, this is our weird thing. We
Yeah.
all stand behind it, no matter how maybe wild or illogical it is. Like, even this story, I love that it just feels like these locals are like, you know what? It's weird. We're going to insist that it's weird. And anyone who asks us about it, we're going to tell them because whenever we get into talking about it, there's some different takes on it, but I just love that these people are like, no, no, no. Let us tell you the truth about this
Yeah.
blue hole.
I
So
do, yes, because for all intents and purposes, this blue hole just looks like kind of like just like, hey, a pretty place,
it is a very deep
and
lake. Yeah.
yeah, so it's kind of, I do love how people lean into their local lore,
Mhm.
and kind of it is a state pride aspect for sure. Um, I even saw there was I didn't know this before. I don't know how I didn't know this in our season. There's a cryptids trading card game. Did you know that? Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's like Pokemon but for cryptids.
What's
I
it?
just saw it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh.
So yeah, I love how people are, and I don't know if now it's my algorithm or what,
They
but
just know.
man, I'm getting cryptids up the wazoo on Pinterest. I mean, everywhere I look, it's basically just like cryptids, and they're like, here, enjoy this new lifestyle.
Oh, the squonks. I
Yeah.
uh I will say I wish you would have been around for whenever we did the so we interviewed Heather, who is from Small Town Monsters, on our local lore and legends season, and then I went to the Monster Fest that was in near my hometown, and it was so full of people so passionate about cryptid. I went there feeling like just a vanilla normie because like everyone else was like, no, no, we are serious about this. And apparently Salt Fork State Park in Ohio is like a hub for Bigfoot, and like there are all these like
Oh,
little things I didn't know. So it's
interesting.
yeah.
The world of cryptids, it's like peeling back an onion because really, I feel like we only scratched the surface in our season, and there's so much more. Like, we
Mhm.
didn't even feature all the states, which maybe we'll do another season of that. I would love that, but
I think this is also the evolution of I was someone who as a kid was obsessed with mythology, and I would get like mythology books
mm,
and read through all the like deities and stuff. I think this is just the next step is cryptids. So
yeah,
like the US based version of it, you know?
yeah, no, that's a good point. So yeah, so this particular blue hole in Prairieton, Indiana, uh,
Mhm.
it's a Prairieton is a small town, simple, quiet life. That's their, like, bread and butter.
Yeah, it's like
Population,
oh yeah, what were you gonna say? How many people live there?
it's like 1,200 people.
Yeah,
Small, small,
it is
small.
very small. I was gonna say,
Yeah.
if that's their tagline, they hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
And also there's a nearby, hamlet of Hutton. I didn't know that a hamlet was a term we still use in these modern
Huh.
days, but also, small
Interesting.
town in Vigo. So yeah, it's a little quaint area of Indiana.
Yeah, and I love that as small as this is, and probably a town I would never come across unless I was looking for it, I would assume. It really has gained notoriety over the years for this rumored bottomless uh, lake that it has here.
Yes. And before we get into the description of it, I found so in from Indiana State University, they have this like Indiana folklore collection, and there is this typed like memo that's describing the blue hole from the early 80s, and it's
Love it.
from like a service station owner, and I just think it is the most quaint historical description of it. Can I read it?
Yes, please.
Okay. So it was formed by a break in the levee, and this is all I'll send it to you. It's like hand typed, just a scan of this. It was formed by a break in the levee. It used to be a lot deeper. It's spring fed, used for swimming hole and fishing. There's stories about cars in the bottom, but those are tales. I used to go swimming down there. Yeah, we'd all pile in a pickup truck after and have swimming parties. We dove the whole thing. It was so deep at times, and you really couldn't find the bottom. It put chains down it a couple of times to see how deep it was. Ever since Prohibition, it was a mighty good spot for a drink on Sunday. It was the best place around.
Wow.
My favorite description, like, you don't need to listen to us.
No.
So this service
That's
station
it.
owner, German Irish American from Prairieton, Indiana, recommends.
I love that. What a great like also I love how you emphasized every like period at the end of a sentence, because
The way
I can
it's
picture
written-
him talking.
It's
Man,
written in such a way to
yeah.
where like there are these like teeny tiny sentences like, yeah, we used to go in the pickup truck. It was big during Prohibition. So, yeah.
So good. I can picture his thumbs maybe in like his overalls.
Yes.
Just like, yeah, we used to go in the pickup truck.
Yep.
Oh.
You know what? And I feel like during his story, in the true Midwestern way, he probably's like, Mary Ann from down the road. Yeah. Well, her son Joe really used to love to go to this, just like whining a tale about people you don't know, but they're dropping
Yes.
names as if you do. Like, okay,
Right.
thanks.
I love that.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah. So what a nice intro into this bottomless. So good. And yeah, so also I found that this is on private property. So I think we should just throw that out there before anybody decides to pack up and go before finishing this episode.
Yeah.
It is
Very, very.
Yeah, please be mindful of signs and stuff. It is highly visible from the road, so don't worry about like not being able to see it, but just like don't be trespassing on this. Not
Yep.
just because you might walk away with a ghost attached to you for the rest of your life, but also private property is pretty serious business.
Yep.
So yeah, what were your first impressions of the blue hole?
So to me, it's one of those things where it does look very deep, and anytime that kind of like coming from this area of the country, like you're not really finding these giant natural deep places. Like usually a quarry or something broke, or they had to backfill a town because so but the first thought was like, I am not swimming in that. I don't see why people would. I mean, I get it, but also ghosts, town, cars, I don't know what's under there. Pirates. So yeah, not something I'm gonna tiptoe into.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah.
It definitely had an aura of like, maybe not.
Yeah, I feel like this is any sort of body of water that I can't really see around, or like, I'm not the type of person that's like, I'll jump in for fun. Let me be the first person to do it.
You know what? That doesn't surprise me. Okay. Yeah, that seems on point.
That tracks. So, yeah. And I know you don't like water you can't see, the depths of, so
I've seen
neither
Stand
of
By
us are
Me. There are
swimming.
leeches in there. I'm going to be covered.
Right. Amongst other things. I mean, you did mention pirates, so do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. Okay, so we've mentioned that this is a chilling, creepy, haunted place. And the local legends around about it, one of it is associated with pirates. So the old Wabash River pirates used to apparently hang out at this blue hole. And for whatever reason, not sure, I saw some stories claiming that they buried treasure at the bottom of it, which is not something I thought pirates did. There's the whole map with the sand and the X's, but maybe the
Right.
Wabash River pirates, who I'd never heard of before, which is fantastic. And I really hope some local sports teams like took that to heart. I don't think it's truly bottomless because if they buried the treasure there, I hope they'd want to get it later. And there's a lot of stories around, people have tried to dive looking for the treasure and people have died and their ghosts are haunting the area. I did not find any evidence of that, but
Yeah.
yeah, that was my big takeaway is that there are river pirates for one, and they buried treasure at the bottom of the
Yeah.
blue hole.
When I heard this story about the pirates burying their treasure, I was imagining there's like a TikTok video or something on social media circulating about um these like whirlpools, and this guy throws a giant log into a whirlpool, and then I think his wife is filming and there's a river there, whatever. You see it pop up all the way down river. So it's like it goes in this whirlpool and then goes in a hidden,
No.
like underneath, and then travels. So it's like kind of, this underground river, I would say, I guess, is how I would. But that's
Yeah,
what I
like a little
pictured.
current. Yeah.
Yeah, I pictured the blue hole. Maybe like I know it's not obviously this like fast moving thing or a whirlpool, but what if it is just like an underground tunnel river that,
Entrance to
people.
another dimension.
Right.
Oh, no. Okay, yeah, so an underground, like a river current that sucks it out.
Yeah, and it goes someplace else, and that's why people are like, "Oh my god, this is so mysterious. Like, where is this
Mm,
going?" But really, it's going someplace just like a mile downriver.
yeah,
That was my first impression. I was like, "Oh, maybe this is a good explanation." But it's also me
that'd
trying to
be
find
cool.
logic in these
Or maybe there's, like, a
mysterious.
subterranean cave and you just go down, you can, like, pop up in.
Yeah,
See, this is but I'm not gonna try, and, I'll
no,
just use my imagination.
not for all the Wabash River gold in the world.
Mm-mm.
Uh,
Okay, so what other legends are associated with the hole?
So I heard about a monster similar to the Loch Ness that because of course any
Yeah.
body of water that you can't really see
Mm.
has some sort of Loch Ness monster. I've heard, yeah, other people were like whispering that there's some sort of monstrous entity in the blue hole that makes it extra eerie.
We should probably do a size comparison to Loch Ness and the Blue
Mm,
Hole in Indiana.
yes.
I have a feeling it's a little bit smaller, so maybe it's just like a mini Pressy, Prairieton little girl swimming around.
Eating all the treasure.
Yeah, that tracks because it's yeah, like dragons defending the treasure. It's like little Pressy.
Oh my gosh.
Nice.
I love this.
Um, but yeah, this is really what I love about small town lore. Is just like yeah, of course there's a monster hiding there and
Yeah.
has maybe an underwater current tunnel or maybe pirates, whatever.
Yeah. It's yes. I think just like leaving the imagination open is what makes local lore and legends so special and so fun
Mhm.
to talk about, is that you can kind of let your imagination run wild and you don't have to stay within the confines of logic, which, is like usually what I'm drawn to because I need to explain things. But it's like local lore, it leaves that misunderstanding open, and that's okay. And that's what
Yeah.
creates the mystery.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not finding like you have to pin down everything to concrete reason and logic, which is an interesting departure. Did
Yeah.
you find any other like legends in Indiana that you thought were interesting or in the area?
Yeah, so I wanted to mention one thing that I came across that I thought was really neat. The History Museum in South Bend, Indiana, right now has an exhibit running through May 12th, 2024, called Indiana Lore. And yeah, I know. And it has all of these historic photos and original artwork and state legends throughout time. It's been running since June of last year, and it will be open mid-May. And it's just a lot of like local stories that this one woman who was accused of murdering her children, who she claimed were just dolls,
Oh,
and
good.
yeah,
Ugh.
yeah, and other the palm reader at the Tuckaway House, and then the Churro Busco Beast of Busco is featured there too, which I
What is
know.
that?
Yeah,
Well, let me
yeah.
just
So
tell
it's
you, it's only 4 hours away from me, and I'm absolutely going.
ooh, you should.
You said it's
It
open
looks
till
really
May?
cool. Yeah, May 12th, 2024. So
Nice.
I just think, yeah, what a cool thing that this museum is also leaning into the legends and folklore. And I didn't know Indiana had so many stories and cryptids, like
Yeah, it
tons.
was I actually went down a couple Reddit threads and, because I found some I don't know if you have other, stories to talk about because I have a
No, no,
handful.
no. Go ahead.
Okay, I won't take too long, but so I the first one I came across was Diana of the Dunes. So in Chesterton, Indiana, there are the Indiana Dunes, and there's a legend that around Lake Michigan, you can see a naked woman swimming in the lake at night, oh, especially at night. And this legend dates back to 1915. And they say that this woman was a hermit living near the lake, and no one knew her name. So they always referred to her as Diane or Diana because of her beauty. She was allegedly Alice Maple Gray, who was a daughter of a wealthy Chicago family, and she came to live on the dunes after she began to lose her eyesight, question mark.
Hmm.
Anyway, in 1920, apparently she married Paul Wilson, who was a suspected murderer and I think an abusive husband. I think she died shortly after giving birth to a child, so she still goes back and swims in the lake, a ghostly figure, to relive the happier days before that
Wow.
jerk showed up. Um
Interesting.
and then this one was great because I came across it and it was called Purple Head Bridge. And some Redditor posted it and then he just had a slew of people going like, oh yeah, this one. I haven't heard this in a time. So it's actually Wabash Cannonball Bridge, Purple Head Bridge, and it connects between Indiana and Illinois overpassing the Wabash River. And according to local lore, if you go over the bridge at night, turn off all the car lights, honk the horn 3 times, a floating purple head will appear somewhere on the bridge or in the rearview mirror. It's like a Bloody Mary, but for your car. um,
Weird.
yeah, and I just I love these tales because who came up with this? Was it a college
Right.
kid? Was just so
Yeah.
some granny like trying to scare her little ones? Um, and it did look really creepy because it was one of those old plank and stone bridges. So driving across it would have been
Mm.
particularly creepy. I do think that it has been since resurfaced to our new civil planning. But yeah, at one point it was very, very creepy. And then in the last one, I have a couple more I can always send you after, but this last one I wanted to mention was the Gray Lady of Willard Library. And
Mm.
so, more than 136 years old, Willard Library is the oldest public library building in the state of Indiana. Old buildings, old ghosts. We know the story. So, it's a beautiful Victorian Gothic building in Evansville. And essentially, I don't know if they made it up or someone reported it, but it's just known to be haunted. The Willard Library ghost is so known to be haunted that there are webcams that you can use on their site, and they're
What?
live webcams that you can just click through. So it's like children's room, research room, foyer, like all these different. And I spent a good 15 minutes this morning just and it's people working and like doing their thing in the library.
Oh
But here's
my
me like clicking
gosh.
through looking for ghosts. I don't know if you've ever played the I'm on observation duty games, but I think you would like them. They're scary, but not real. Anyway, I'll tell you about them. And yeah, you're just looking for ghosts, and that's what I was doing. So they
Wow.
psychics visited the library in 2007 and they said that and this is on the website, they were able to verify that the ghost has been there and paranormal investigator groups have brought in equipment too. Library employees have reported seeing the ghost, especially the children's librarian and the library assistant. And policemen responding to a security alarm at the library have spotted 2 ghosts in upstairs windows of the library. So it's just, yeah, it's
Wow.
go, you know what? Support reading, support your local library, support the ghosts.
Yeah.
They need attention too.
That's really cool and very unique. I feel like as an attention draw for that library to have
How
those webcams.
brilliant.
Yeah.
It- Honestly, even if it wasn't haunted, just be like, you know what, guys, our library is haunted. We're going to set up these cams. And then once
Yeah.
every month, you just have one of the interns go through the halls. It's like, oh
Just like
no, we
walk
spotted him.
across. Genius. I love
Love it.
this
Small
idea.
towns, perk your ears up. We got
Yeah.
your marketing done for you.
The one story that the Churubusco Beast of Busco that I wanted to talk
It
about
rolls
because
off the tongue.
I think what's so funny to me about this story is that this is like a legendary creature that gained a lot of notoriety in the 1940s because this guy Oscar Folk said he saw a giant turtle in Folks Lake and it's on his property, mind you.
Okay.
And he said this turtle was between 8 feet and 15 feet in length. that it was massive. But of course, he could not capture it. And
I mean, it's a big turtle.
yeah. So, like a lot of other stories that we talk about, it gained attention, and locals, media, they became fascinated with this creature they named the Beast of Busco. And despite numerous searches between everybody collectively,
Mm.
they even drained the pond. The creature was never found. And so this is how the legend formed. This is how it's become this part of local folklore. And even people still visit the area in hopes to see the Beast of Busco.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but whenever you said beast, I was not imagining a turtle. I was thinking mammal.
Yeah.
I was thinking, yeah,
Yeah.
hairy. Okay. I
Yeah.
mean,
So yeah, it's supposedly a snapping turtle, one of those, kind of
oh
prehistoric
yeah.
looking
Oh gosh, they're
yeah, but
nasty. We had them in our
yeah.
pond. It was I also had a creature, a beast, let's say, in my family's pond. We didn't drain it to verify, but there was always this giant grass carp, which they're huge anyway, but it was albino. So we called it, Moby Dick. And every time we'd see it,
Oh,
I don't know how long they lived, but it lived a
oh
long
my
time. Still might
gosh.
be there to this day. So
Wow.
maybe I need to start marketing that.
I was gonna say, it's your moneymaker right here. How
Right?
is this the first time we're hearing about this? You got to make
Well,
shirts. You got to make banners. Do a
yeah,
festival.
I
Yeah,
love it. Oh my gosh. I'll
yeah.
send out the invites as soon as I get the event up and running.